to my channel. So today I'll be showing you guys how to make a circle dress with a circle sleeve, off shoulder circle dress. So for that I'm going to be using this fabric here. So first I'm going to open up the fabric and fold it. So guys, the first thing I did now is to fold this fabric this way. I just folded it into two. So and then the next thing I'm going to do now is to measure above the bust, get above the bust measurement, right, round above your bust. So what I'm working with is 31. So whatever you have, for me I'm going to add about 7 inches to it, the seam allowance plus extra, the seam allowance 2 inches and then extra 5 inches just to have a little ease at the top, so I can be able to pass elastic through it and it won't be too tight. So that's what I'm working with. So altogether 31 bust, above bust measurement plus the extra 7 inches, that's going to be 37. And then the 37 you divide it with 3.14. 3.14 is a constant. It's just a constant that you can use when you're doing this. So it doesn't vary for anybody, it's just the same. So you fold the fabric into two this way. So when I divided mine, what I got was approximately 12 inches. So the 12 inches, I'm going to add it to the length of the dress. So the length of the dress, starting from above the bust to where I want the dress to be, because it's going to be an off shoulder, is about 33 inches. So the 33 plus the 12 inches that I got from dividing it, does about 39 inches plus extra seam allowance, that's 40. So that's why I folded this fabric this way by 40 inches. So let me say it again. So basically you take your fabric, fold it into two this way. The next thing you're going to do is measure above your bust. If you're going to be using elastic at the top part, add about maybe 7 inches for both the seam allowance and then the ease. With and then whatever you get, you divide it. Whatever you get, you divide it by 3.14. So when I divided mine, I got 12 plus the off shoulder dress length, that's and plus extra 1 inch for the seam allowance for the length. That's how I got the 40. So the next thing I'm going to do is to take the fabric, fold it over again this way, right? You can leave it open and then measure the 12 inches all the way around, like put the tape here and keep measuring 12 inches round. But I find it to be hard to spread your hand across, so that's why after folding it into two, the next thing I do is fold it over again, right? That way the distance your hand has to cover will be shortened, right? So now that I have folded it, this is what I'm working with, right? So what I have to do is put my tape at this point and then measure 12 inches all the way around, right? So 12 inches, mark 12 here, move it a little bit, mark another 12, move it, mark 12, all the way to the end, right? So I've done that. So the next thing I have to do, so guys, I've marked the line this way, this curved line here. So the next thing I have to do now is to put the tape back and then mark 40 inches. The 40 inches is what I got from the 12 plus what will be the off shoulder length dress. This distance here is supposed to be about 28, right? 27 for the length and then 29 is for the extra seam allowance. So, but when you're marking it, you're supposed to start from this particular point here. So put your tape at this point and then you mark 40 inches, right, all the way down here. So I'm going to mark 40. So guys, you can see I've marked mine. So now I'm going to cut it out. So now I'm going to also cut out the top part here. After that, I'm going to split one side open because the other end is already open. So I'm going to split this open. So now this is what it looks like. this is what the dress would look like here, right? This is the center part of the dress. This is the part I'm going to pass the elastic here. So I'm also going to be attaching a pocket to this somewhere here. So I'm going to set this aside. So the next thing I'm cutting out now is 3 inches for the band I'm going to put on top, because if you look closely at the picture, you'll see that there's a band on top. So this is where I'm going to be passing my elastic, and my elastic is going to be about 1 inch length. So that means I'm using 3 inches, so that 1 inch on one side, 1 inch on the other side, and then half an inch as my for the band for the seam allowance. So that's why I'm using 3 inches here. So I'm going to cut out enough strap, because there's also going to be a strap on top of the sleeve. So I'm going to cut. So I'm cutting 2 at the moment. That's why it's folded. So I'm going to separate it here. So separate it here and then cut extra. So I'm going to place it again and trace out another one. So now that I've cut my straps, the next thing I'm going to cut is the sleeve. And the person doesn't want the sleeve too wide. If you want your sleeve wide, the best thing you're going to do is just to measure around your arm where the sleeve is going to be, and then you maybe add like 5 inches to it, 2 inches, maybe add 4 inches. 1 inch for your seam allowance, 2 inches for just ease, and then divide it by the same 3.14, and you fold your fabric the same way I folded the other one. But this time around, the person wants the sleeve not too wide at the end. So what I'm going to do is just take the fabric the way it is, fold it at one end. So this is how the fabric spreads out, right? So what I did here is just take it, fold it at one end here. I measured what their arm would be. So the arm width is 11 inches. So the 11 inches, I added about 5 inches to it. So I'm working with 16 inches. 16 inches divided by the 16 inches divided by 2, so that will be 8. So I'll just come down here, find where the 8 will fit in. So that's here at this line here. So the next thing I'm going to do now is what length am I working with? And the length of the sleeve is about 9.5 plus extra 1.5 inch for seam allowance. That's going to be 11. So I'm going to mark 11 here. So just put my tape here and just keep marking 11 inches here. If you want, you could pull it up to this end here and do the same thing. So you just add the 11 inches to the previous inches that you had here. For me, I had 8 inches, right? So 11 plus 8. So guys, from this particular point here, if you do it from this point, it might not have like the curve at the end. So I normally do it from this end here. So I'm going to make it at 20 and just keep marking all the way to the end. You know, this is just one sleeve, right? So I'll still use this one sleeve to trace the second sleeve. So I also checked where the 8 inches, 9 inches falls in here. I decided to just approximate it to 9. So check where it falls in here. So it falls in at this point here, and I also marked it all the way around. So that's how I got this curve here. So now I'm going to cut it out and show you guys. So guys, now I'm trying to cut out the second sleeve here. I folded the fabric again. So this is what it looks like at the moment. So now I'm going to trace it out. So first cut the top part here. Cut it out, and then the bottom. Now I have 2 sleeves. So basically what I'm going to do is go to the machine and sew I'll also cut out my pockets that I'm going to use. I'm going to attach the pocket at. So I'm going to add my pocket down maybe 12 inches from the top part here. So I'm going to notch it here. I know that my pocket is going to go in somewhere here. So basically what I'm going to do is go to the sewing machine, take this strap here, attach it some on top here, right, all the way around, and then pass elastic to through it, and then set it aside. Do the same thing for these two. Attach the band, right, attach this band, pass elastic, close it up, set it aside. Do the same thing for this, and then when I'm done, I'm going to attach it here, like double stitch the same on this side, and then the dress will be ready. Finish up the ends too. So that's basically it. This is what the dress looks like. I'm done making it, and here is the bottom here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye.